Alright guys, I am back again today and I'm on my way back in the house from the man cave. And ouch, stepped on a rock, got my socks on. And had a great conversation with a man named Mr. Mark Mccall. He's from Georgia. And he's been through a lot in life, seen a lot in life, knows a lot in life. He's a PhD, he's a retired teacher, and I thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with him. I probably could have talked to him for a month straight, as usual with everybody who seems to come on here with me, right? Anyway, he had a little snack during our conversation. It's kind of comical to me, and I don't care. He could have had turkey dinner while we spoke. Would have made a difference to me. So show him some respect and enjoy the conversation I'm going to share with you guys now.
The way these things work, they surprise me. I mean, it's like being in a carnival, so to speak. Hang on. I sometimes have to grab my words out of my brain because I had a stroke about 3
Oh, yeah.
years ago, and you know, it disrupted my sight. My left eye went that way.
Damn.
And so I have to have corrective glasses so
Oh,
I can
no.
see now. In fact, I missed a big buck a couple of years ago because I couldn't. Yeah, I thought I had him in the scope, but evidently I didn't because I saw
Oh,
him on the
no.
camera again. So, I usually don't miss,
Right.
but guess what I've been doing lately? Missing. So I
Oh,
got
no.
these glasses, and I'm hoping that corrects everything this fall when I get in
Practice,
my new
practice,
stand.
practice.
Oh yeah, well, I used to practice all the time. I shoot 2, 3 thousand rounds a year.
Wow.
You know, just going to the range and shooting my handgun or shooting my rifle. My
Yeah.
wife called it my expensive sport, but
Buy a
I,
boat.
yeah. Well, that's what I've been told. Buy a boat. My wife says no. We already got a trailer, so
Yeah.
that takes
Just
car.
shovel it in. Just back the
It's
truck up and
shoveling in.
shovel the money into them. So
Yeah,
where are you
that's
from?
true.
Where are you from, Mark?
I'm
You're retired
originally
now too.
from North Carolina. I was
Okay.
born in Lenore, North Carolina, and raised mostly in that area around Cages Mountain and all.
Mhm.
But I live in Augusta, Georgia right now. I've been in Augusta,
Right.
Georgia was over 40 years
Wow.
since I graduated college. In fact,
Right.
I married my college sweetheart and we had 3 kids, blah, 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 blah. My wife is going, go ahead, tell the whole story. Uh, we, and she had some land in Waynesboro and I went hunting on that land and I've been hunting on that land last 40 or so years. In fact,
Wow.
I've gotten some really big bucks just off of that land.
All right.
But it's on that land I've seen this thing. And I've had all these experiences with this thing, I'm thinking.
Wow.
Um, but it's this thing and his family. I found out there are 2 more down there, too. There are 2 that are 7 feet tall, and there's one that's about 10 feet tall, nine and a
Whoa.
half, 10 feet tall. And I don't mess with them. I tell them, look, I'm coming here to hunt. Leave me alone. I don't want to mess with you. And they'll usually respond. I've had acorns and rocks thrown at me. I've had um, I've had sticks thrown at me. But that's usually telling me get out. And when my friend saw these things that were 7 feet tall, yeah, I told him, I said, there's something up there, it's kind of a primate thing. I don't know what it is. Leave it alone. It'll be okay. And he came back and he was white as a sheet. This guy had been a um, helicopter pilot in the Army. He graduated West Point, real strict kind of fella, but he he said he's seen some Bigfoot. I said, okay, really? I said, what took this deer? Because we were looking for a deer my friend Tim had lost. And I'd seen this drag mark where along the side of some pine needles where something had just drug it off. And I just kind of went, what's taking this thing? And he sat there with his hands in his pockets, and he said, Bigfoot. And I said, well, really? My kid Daniel was with me because he's a friend of Tim's, and I don't know. It just kind of shook me a little bit, and I went, okay, oh really? And went, we left. We hunted that afternoon. We left. Came back the next day with my buddy Perry, who was an artillery officer in the army, and I was 11 Bravo. I was just so grunt. Put on a pack and go.
Right.
And we were sitting there in the deer stand, learning about each other, and he would tell me stories, and I would listen to him. This man had been blown up in Iraq, and had received a Bronze Star for his actions, and so he's no run of the mill pansy. This guy's about 6'4", and real heavy set fellow, about 350 thereabout, and he had shot a doe in the southeastern corner of the field, and maybe about 270 yards away. It was a good shot. And I was congratulating him on it. And we went and we got his truck. We went to go get the deer. We got the deer. We put the deer in the back of the truck. And we're sitting there talking. And I was telling him, I said, Perry, this is a very special place to me because this is where I want to be buried. I want to be buried right there in front of my deer stand. Whether you take my ashes and shake them out on the ground and let everybody have at it, or bury my ashes, you just bury them right there in front of the deer stand. I want a big deer to walk across me after I'm gone, because
All right.
by God, I want somebody to shoot that son of a bitch. But anyway, that's just me, and I'm just sitting there on the back of the truck, just looking down. Special. When I said special, he said, "Is it special like that up there?" And I turned around and looked, and I saw this thing stand up. It stood up. It looked like something from, oh gosh, what do you want to call it? The Who in Whoville, if you want to call it that. The hair on it is just, it had hair all over it. And it was about charcoal gray, and it was dusk, you know. It was just now the sun was setting behind us. And we were looking at it, and I saw its leg come out. We're 250 yards away from this thing. I saw his left leg come out, and then it started to run/gallop. It took maybe 3.5 seconds to get across that field. I mean, 250 yards, this thing cut off.
Whoa.
And but we saw its movements because it was there in the sun, and the sun was, I guess, lighting up its hair, and its hair was starting to change color. It changed to like a fluorescent lamp, you know. And this was, because when you think about this whole thing, it sounds nutty. It sounds like you're out of your mind. And and I've been hunting this area for 40 years, and I've never seen anything like this. Of course, there was a time I come across a dually about the size of an elephant dung, and I thought, well, what the hell left this? What the hell
Yeah,
left
yeah.
this? It's on my way to the stand. I'm on my way to the stand, and I see this thing. But this is the afternoon. We picked up the deer, we put it in the back of the truck, we're getting ready to leave, and this thing stands up, and the hair on it was long on the back of its arms and the back of its legs, its calf. You could tell it was long, but you could tell, well, this thing was male because it stood up. You didn't see his wang doodle, but it wasn't hard to think of one being there. But oh, Lord God, help me, Jesus! I'm sitting here trying to figure things out with this burrito. But if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna eat at the same time I'm talking to you.
Go ahead. Do whatever you
But
want.
I give my dog his snack. Yeah,
How
we
tall
got
was this? How tall was this thing?
9.5, 10 foot tall,
Jeez.
and maybe 3.5, 4 foot wide, built like a basketball player. And I mean, this was a tall drink of water, and it's coming across the field, and we're watching it bounce. Its head looked cone shaped, but when it bounced and the hair was lit up, the head was round, but it had no neck. It had no neck at all. So what the hell is this thing? And it goes across the field and it turns to the left. And as it turns to the left, is right there at the edge of the trees. The trees are on the edge here. We got a swamp down to the right of me. And then it vanishes in sparkles of blue and red.
No shit.
No shit. I mean, this thing vanishes right there. It's humongous. You tell it's flexing its back to show us its muscles, but it turns its back on us and then vanishes
Before it got in the timber?
before it got in the timber. Before, I
Wow.
mean, it turns north. It was up here in the northwestern corner of the field, and it runs to the southeastern corner, and then turns north and vanishes.
How long did it take to vanish? And was the aftermath of what was left behind or during it vanishing, was it the same height and same width as him? Or was it
Yes,
just a little bit of a
you,
light flowing, or what was it?
just a little bit of light. That was it. I mean, you tell it just poof, just
How long
vanishes
did it
like
take
a
to vanish? Like just a quarter of a second, couple
quarter of
seconds?
a second, half a second maybe. I mean, it
Did
took
you
two and a half seconds to get across the field, and in 3 seconds it vanished right
shit?
there
Did
in
you
front of
hear
us.
anything in the forest after it vanished?
No, it was quiet. It was quiet with me and Perry.
No
Perry gets
way.
in the Perry gets in the truck. I get in the truck after Perry, and we're in his truck. I mean, he's driving, and he said, what's that?" And I said, "I don't know, but I will ask the elders." Oh yeah, I'm going to ask the people that I know. See, I'm from the Appalachian Mountains. They say if you see a man, you don't see a man. You just keep walking, keep your head down, and keep walking. And this thing was like a man. It was it was like a man.
Thank God you had your buddy with you, because when you see something like that, then what are you going to do with that? Who are you going to
What are you
tell?
going to do with it? I mean, you know, Perry and I have stayed friends all these years, and I've stayed friends with Scott, but Scott does not talk to me.
Who's
Scott
Scott?
doesn't talk to me. Hmm?
Who's Scott?
Scott's the one that saw
Oh,
the two others, and he doesn't talk to me. He says, "I'm never hunting here again." That's
after he saw the two.
after he saw the two. After he saw the two, he says, "I'm never hunting here again." He
No
said
doubt.
that. I said,
Was was he by
"Go ahead."
himself?
Yeah, he was by himself. But we saw him, and he had his hands in his pocket. He was white as a ghost. I've never seen that man white as a ghost. This is a guy who ain't fair, who ain't scared of shit. Okay,
No.
he is now. I mean, it changes your worldview. It really does. It changes everything. I mean, by
Absolutely.
this time, I had my PhD, and I'm sitting there going, "What the? Is anybody going to believe me?" My wife never believed me until
Right.
she heard him herself in 2019, the season of 2019, at the end of the season. And we're in the stand. We're getting ready to walk down the stairs that Perry built. Perry and his son built some stairs for the stand. Stands about 6 foot off the ground. And we're coming down the stand, and all of a sudden these things start hollering. They're hollering like a celebration, like you're at a ball game or something.
Yeah,
Weird.
I thought it was there was a ball field or something way down past the woods, and I told Mark, I said, "What's that cheering noise? Is there a ball field over there?" And he said, "No, there's no ball field over there."
What did I tell you was over there?
Sabe.
I said, over those tracks is nothing but cows.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but
When's
cows.
how long ago was that when you first saw it?
2019.
2019. And how many have
Yeah.
you seen them since with your eyes?
No,
Right.
I've not seen them with my eyes. I've seen them in my dreams. They've I had one come right to the window back here by the bedroom, and I had a dream about him talking to me.
No
You
way.
know,
What do you
he
say?
he said that he was chief of his clan, and that he'd come to visit and talk with me, and find out what I was going to do down there. And I said, look, the only thing I want to do is hunt. I'm going to hunt deer. You can have everything else. That's what I told him. I said, I'm not going to hunt it. I'm not hunting you. I'm not doing anything of that nature. I'm going to leave your ass alone.
What did
And
that do
that
you
was the end
recall?
of it.
What did that dude look like in your dream? Can you recall?
Like a regular man, he had charcoal gray skin, kind of blondish black hair, and
I don't like some black hair.
um, it was oh gosh, black with like blonde and white tips.
Right.
And he just sat there and we talked for a little bit, and he left.
Crazy.
He told me his name, and I said, "Well, that's a hell of a name.
Do you
You got
remember
a
what it was?
shorter one? You ain't shorter one for it?" He says, "No, it's just my name." So, okay, cool. There are times I've come down there and I felt pressure right here.
Oh yeah.
When I feel pressure right here, time to leave. You
Yeah, yeah.
know,
Hmm.
That's just the way I've been. I love Texas Pete, but forgive me for that. But I put that on my burrito.
Yeah. So
Oh,
your partner, your hunting partner, did he ever see them ever again?
not that I know of. I don't know that Scott or Perry have seen him again. But I told my buddy John about it, and he thought I was shitting him. And I said, look, John, I have seen these things. I've seen one of them. I said, they're massive. They're not aggressive from what I see, but I said, they're there. Trust me, they're there. And John has hunted with me in the same stand since. And I've told John about it, and John brought his 7mm mag. I said, why you bring your big gun? He said, you were spooked. I'm spooked. you
He
know,
believes what you're saying.
he believes what I'm saying. And he knew me when I told him about the big dually in the field when I came up. I mean, this sucker was steaming. I don't know what the hell left this. And I thought, well, it could be one of the farm hands. I talked to my cousin Jody about it, and he said, well, we weren't back there today. We haven't been back there in a while.
Wow.
So, you know, there are a lot of things that just really grieve the f out of me. But yeah, this blows my mind. The whole thing blows my mind. I mean,
Same.
I mean, let me say this. I am a man who has been skeptical most of my life. Most of my life, I've been skeptical.
Hmm.
But I eat a burrito.
Yeah. Burritos are good.
Well, this one's got egg in it, so.
I haven't even ate yet today. It's what time is it here? It's almost, I don't know what time it is. What is it?
12:30?
12 o'clock. All I've
12
got is a
o'clock.
cup of coffees. I'll eat after this.
Well, I got my
I'm going.
coffee here. I thought I'd share with you.
Yeah. I'm going to. I'm going to leave tomorrow morning. I head up into the mountains in British Columbia by myself and go get my trail cameras, and I might go up to where those 4 logs are stacked on that fir tree and see if they're still standing up there, maybe too, and videotape it for the hell of it.
Mr. Bagel Man.
Well, be careful.
Oh yeah.
Be careful where you go. See, I got my
I've been running.
Papa Bear shirt on today, so I'm gonna be Papa Bear.
Yeah. So that fellow that doesn't talk, the guy that saw 2 of them, he doesn't talk to you at all. Period. You don't even see him in town anywhere. Nothing.
Oh, man.
He's moved down to Glenn County. That's about
I wonder
3
if
hours away.
he stopped hunting.
I don't know. He was a big hunter when I met him.
Do you know anybody else that has seen these things?
Do I know anybody else that has seen these things? You. That's about it.
Did Jody?
Really?
Jody's seen them. Jody saw them, but Jody's been gone 3 years.
He passed away.
He passed away.
What did he see?
He said he saw 2 twins about 4 foot tall. And he said that he heard them when he was 11 years old.
Wow.
And he was
Same area?
the same area down there. That's where Jody grew up.
Right.
And he's seen them, and he believed me that I'd seen them when I told him about them. And I kept asking him, I said, is there anything else that you know about these things? And he would sit there with his eyes shut and go, I can't remember anything else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When you're having that dream, did during that dream, I mean, obviously we got to have some interest in the dreams. Because there's just far too many people that had experiences and what they felt was a dream, but it wasn't really a dream. I've had the same thing happen once, I believe. But was there any information you can remember from that dude talking to you through the window? Anything that stands out?
Look, this is kind of weird though, but I have really never talked about it. He said that I asked him what they ate. And he said, anything we can catch.
Hmm.
I said, how about small mammals? He said, yeah, small
Yeah,
ones.
I think we gathered they eat just about anything,
They eat it.
anything.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
even up here, they're eating the rotting, spawned out salmon from the side of the river. They're eating those things.
yitch.
Yeah, and that one time we dropped off that 300-pound dead ewe sheep, and that thing smelt. It was nasty. They took it, picked it up, took it.
I've had a deer stolen about 25 years ago. It was
What
sitting in the
happened?
sand. Hang on.
Yep.
Well, about 25 years ago, I was sitting in the stand, and this big buck, nice buck, 8-pointer, they're really long tines. He comes walking down the left-hand side of the field. And as he's walking down the left-hand side of the field, I'm saying, well, you've come just a little bit too close. And I said, well, I'm going to get you. So I raised up my 7mm mag, just put it down on him, just crossed his arm, bam, busted him. but he didn't fall. He ran into the woods. I heard him fall down on the ground. And I thought, it's Thursday. I need to get up and get that rascal before I have to go to work on Friday morning. So
Yeah.
I got down the stand. It's still about light, about 5 o'clock. I walked up to where I shot him. I saw the blood trail. I said, well, this is going to be easy. Little did I know, I'm I'm there, and I'm getting ready to come in there and grab this rascal. Well, as I'm walking up the field into the woods, I hear something running. I heard something pick something up, and I hear something running. I mean, this was like pat, pat, pat. I thought, oh shit! I done woke him up and forced him out. So I'm coming in there, and I look on the ground, and there's a big blood pile like that. I mean, this deer bled out and died. I
Right.
busted him good. I thought, well, he can't have gone too far, but there's no blood trail. There's no blood trail. I went, okay. So I did 10 meters circle, found some blood. Okay. I said, well, it's going that way down this trail. So I did another 10 meter and found some blood. And then nothing. And now it's getting dark. I mean, dark. The woods gets dark fast.
Yeah.
There's no light around you. And then I thought, well, do I keep following this trail because I'm here by myself? And then I hear coyotes, or what sounds like coyotes. And and I look to the front of me, there's nothing. Behind me, there's nothing. But I hear one set up in front of me, then a set behind me to my right, then a set behind me to my left. And I said, oh shit, they're
Wow.
coming.
That's creepy.
I've only got like 3 rounds in this thing. So I've already spent one killing this deer. So I said, I can come back tomorrow morning. I'll just take that off and do that. Well, I come back, because it's a holiday anyway. And it's early in October. And maybe about third week. As I'm coming back, oh, Lord, there's nothing there. And I get my cousin Greg to come with me. And he comes down there and looks. We look. Nothing. I said, has anything ever happened like this to you before? And he said, no. I said, well, this is stranger than all get out. So I've had deer stolen. I know they've been stolen from me.
Right.
I know they've been stolen from me. But they've got a different idea about what they steal and what's theirs. This was a big buck. This was a nice buck.
Right.
Kind of you put on your wall buck. In
Right.
fact, I got 6 total on the wall, plus my son's, and then I've got my wife's that she killed a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
But, you go, all right, well, I missed one, okay? Or what's happened? I haven't the slightest idea. I
Right.
have no idea. And you hear things, and it gets quiet as all get out, and everything happens back there. I've asked Jody, I said, what else has happened back there? He says, oh, footsteps in the swamp. I said, footsteps in the swamp. He says, yeah, sounds like a man walking back there, but there's nobody there to see. And I've had some follow me back during flintlock season. I got a flintlock on the wall I used to use. I got it hanging now. And I had something follow me back to my truck several times.
Mm.
And I've always fired my rifle down into the ground. This time I fired my rifle down the ground. I said, stay the F away from me. You know,
Yeah,
you know,
no doubt.
leave me alone is that's been my mantra. But I've also prayed the name of Jesus Christ over it too.
Right.
You know, I've had all kinds of things happen to me: heart surgery, kidney removed, a stroke, this arm reattached. You
Shit.
know, I've had. I got the receipts right there.
Yeah.
you know, right here. Take my shirt off. I ain't gonna do that. Be a different kind of show then. But uh, these things happen to me, Steve.
Yeah.
They've happened to me a long time, and I've left it alone. I just leave it alone. I said, okay.
So you
You know,
never found yourselves obsessed with Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Like, a lot of people just their whole lives go focused on Bigfoot for the rest of their lives after.
well, when I first saw that rascal, I started listening to you
Right.
because I kept thinking to myself, okay, all these things are happening. And it's I've got this kind of mind that thinks in concentric circles. I keep circling around to it, but it does this number here where it goes up. And yeah, I guess I was obsessed with Bigfoot. And I would talk
Right.
about Bigfoot to my wife before she heard these things, and she would say, I would say they exist, and she would say, "Oh yeah, they exist, right?" Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Till I saw this thing, I wasn't really for sure. I really wasn't. I was skeptical about it. Thought, well, these things can happen. Or maybe this was this, or this could have been something else. This couldn't have been anything else. This thing could not have been anything else but Sasquatch.
What an
Right?
amazing thing to witness. Like that is such an amazing thing to witness, seeing it disappear like that. And there's been more than a handful of people have shared the same thing.
Yeah, well, it
What
just
I mean,
disappeared. It just vanished.
yeah, like what does that do to your brain?
You kind of go, well,
Right?
yeah. These things have so much ability to do things that we can't do.
Mm-hmm.
The speed in which they do them. I mean, that's the one thing that overtook me. We're sitting there, and this is the I could have pulled out my phone and took a picture or whatever, but I didn't.
Just don't think about
You
it.
don't think about that.
Oh, I've been there.
You don't think about that. And you go,
Don't think about nothing.
you don't think about nothing. You're like, yeah, right. Well, what? No,
Let's see.
All eyeballs and a gaping jaw.
Yeah, yeah. And the only thing I could tell Perry was that I'll ask the elders. I talked to Jody. I talked to everybody I knew, and Jody says, "Oh, you saw one of them gilly monsters." Gilly monsters. I said, "What the hell's that?" He said, "Oh, that's what you call Bigfoot." He said, "I see their tracks all the time back yonder." I said, "You see their tracks all the time back yonder, and you didn't tell me they were there?
Yeah,
You
right.
didn't ask."
You
No,
didn't ask.
you
Oh
didn't
my God.
ask. My dad. When I told my dad, he says, "Well, you son," he says, "your record. What kind of sign is that? What kind of omen?" See, the old people back in the hills said when you see one, it's a bad omen.
Really?
Yeah, they say it's a bad omen. And I said, "What do you mean a bad omen?" He said, "Well, you never know." See, I've had all these things happen to me. You surgery. I've been in too much surgery. I just had surgery on my mouth, of all
Mm.
things. Surgery on my nose. I had surgery on my heart. I had surgery on my side. Everywhere you look, I've had surgery.
Wow.
But God has given me life.
Yes, he has.
God has given me life. And he's done that through Jesus Christ. And I know that. I know that without a doubt. I know at that moment, I knew that everything that my mother had told me all her life, and she passed in 2014, my dad passed last year. This time, in fact, around March 29th, 2025, when he passed. But, they have all these things happen to me.
What'd your mother tell you?
What did my mother tell me?
Yeah, you
My
said all
mother,
those things your mother tell you.
my mother told me a lot. So she died in 14. She would say, she had every piece of scripture underlined, every piece of scripture underlined in the Bible. And that Bible has been given to my son Daniel, and he has that Bible. He had it restored, but everything in the Bible was underlined,
Right.
underlined without a. When we were in the hospital in 2004, my dad had several heart attacks,
Hmm.
and we had him moved to Bowman Gray in Winston-Salem. And while we were there, I sent everybody home because I said, I can be here. I've taken the time off from work. It's December 11th, and that happened December 11th. It took us 4 hours to get up there. And we got there to Bowman Gray. I sent everybody home. I said, look, I'll take the night shift. Y'all go home. And I'm sitting there, and two of these young men, African American fellows, come in and sit down by me and talk. And we're just talking. And the man, one of them, looked at me. I said to both of them, I said, look, it's cold outside. Let me get you some food out of the machines, or let me get you some food that my family's brought up here. Because in the South, when you have close to a death or a death, they bring food.
Mm.
All right. Well, we were there with the food, and I said, let me give you some food here or something to drink. When I offered them food and drink, the tall one, there was a tall one, the short one, very muscular gentleman, looked at me and said, I have a message for you. So you got a message from me? He said, yes. Go to your mother's Bible on the table. I went to my mother's Bible. She says, go to Jeremiah 1:5. I went to Jeremiah 1:5. It says, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and declared you a prophet among the nations. And me, the guy looked at me and says, you're off like Jonah. Like, started talking about Jonah as if he knew him personally. I said, Jonah? He said, go to Jonah 2:2. I heard your cry even in the depths of hell, and I granted your request. I had screamed outside in my garage and stuck my hand through the wall, because I've got a second-degree black belt in karate.
Right.
Anyway, anyway, I did that, and I said, God, please don't take my daddy. Well,
Crazy.
they talked to me a little bit, and they got ready to leave. And as they're leaving, one of them left earlier because I said, who can I pray for? And they said, you can pray for Michelle Hughes. She needs prayer. These men had introduced themselves, last name of Hughes. And I thought, well, they're probably kin. And the first one that looked at the second one says, I have to leave. And he got up and left. That was at 11:25 on December 18th, 2004. He had left and gone. That's when these men had come in about 11 o'clock that night. And he left. The other one sat there and talked to me a little bit longer. And then as he got ready to leave and go, I said, I gotten up around to go around and shake his hand. And Christine Jarrett from Martinsville, Virginia was in there. Her husband had died on the 26th that year. Well, he stopped and said, my friend, he looked over his shoulder. He said, my friend, be careful with whom you have conversations with, for you never know when you speak with an angel of Almighty God. Well, we had prayed for Michelle Hughes that day, and we're sitting in the ICU. Me and Mom are sitting in the ICU, and I'm talking to my mom about it. And she says, okay, well, what else would the men say? Well, I told them about Michelle Hughes. Well, the phone rang at the station, at the ICU station, and the lady who was our nurse, Dawn, went over there and picked up the phone and made a couple of phone calls and hung up. And she said, who was that Mark was talking about? And I said, that was Michelle Hughes. She said, well, Michelle Hughes came in last night at 12:30. I talked to the men at 11:25. When that short one got up to leave, he said, I have to be somewhere fast. She had been in a motorcycle accident, had broken her neck, wasn't expected to live, now is going to live. Was not expecting to live. The short one's name was Michael. The tall one's name was Gabriel. Last name, Gabriel Hughes. Michael Hughes. And I'm going, my friend, be careful with whom you have conversations with. My daddy lived for another 21 years.
Wow.
He died at 92, almost 93.
Wow.
Outlived my mama. My mama lived to 2014. They were married 54 years.
What a story.
Yeah, it's a story for me because God is good no matter what has happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
God has been good. God has brought me through a stroke. He's brought me through heart surgery. He's brought me through cancer surgery, sinus surgery, mouth surgery, arm surgery. I looked at hip surgery last year. Had to have the hip replaced.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're the bionic man, Steve
I,
Austin.
I thought about that. Yeah, I thought about that. I'd be the bionic man. I am the bionic man. What you talking
Remember
about?
that show?
Huh?
Remember that show?
No, I haven't.
No, do you remember? Did you watch that show years
Oh, I
ago? The
remember.
Bionic
Oh, yeah,
Man.
I remember that show. I didn't quite catch what you said. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin, the bionic man.
Yeah, Lee Majors.
Lee Majors. Absolutely. That's right. I remember him.
Yep.
Oh, gosh almighty.
You know
That
what's
was
funny?
just too much.
Side note: I was at a
Yeah.
UFC fight years ago. Man, who was that? I think it was UFC 100 or something. And I remember sitting there in the chair, and I looked over. I'm like, "Oh my God, there's Lee Majors standing there right beside me." He had
Right beside you.
he had the exact same hair color. I guess exact same hairdo, exact same hair color. And he's with a girl about 25 years younger than him, and he could barely walk. Yep, that's him.
There you go.
Yep.
Money talks and bullshit walks, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, so
That's
getting
just
back to
one.
that Sasquatch sighting quick. When that thing was running across that field, could you see its legs moving?
Yes.
Really? They
Yes.
must have looked like the Roadrunner.
Not quite. Perry called it that shadowy thing we saw.
Right.
I could see his leg. I just had some eye stuff done to this left hand eye. They do a shot in your eye. But I used to have 2015 vision. I could see things other people didn't see.
Right.
But when I saw this thing move, you could see its leg move. It was like it loped across the field.
Really? Wasn't a straight plane.
Wasn't on a straight plane. It was just coming straight down like this. But the way it moved, you kind of went, what the hell? I mean, the way it moved, it was real. It looked like it was moving slow, but it was moving fast.
Wow.
So everything was in slow motion.
Weird. Almost like a car accident effect, or like when I've had grizzly bears charging me. Everything goes in slow motion, but it's happening really
Everything goes
fast.
in slow motion. It's like when you're in combat or you got boats flying around you like bees.
Right.
You're like in full slow motion. Everything slows down. I was wrestling coach. I coached wrestling, I coached football, but my favorite was wrestling. And because that's combat. I've always loved combat. Forgive my taking my time here. But it
Yeah.
was slow. Everything slowed down. It was like, he moved and he was moving a lot of distance with each step. The steps were fast. And then it was like he was pop, gone.
Man. With the arms pumping, was he pumping his arms or swinging
Just
his arms?
something. His arms were moving. That was strange. When he stood up, his knuckles were together like this, and they went down by his side. He were still bent, and that leg come out like Snagglepuss did on cartoon. Straight out. It's like exit stage left.
Shit.
That's the only thing I can think of at the time.
Yeah,
All of a
yeah.
sudden, you go back to like 5 years old, like you're watching TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And this thing moves, and as it moved, you didn't realize what the hell was going on at the time. It was just there. It was just there.
And both you guys saw it the exact same moment?
We saw it at the exact same moment. I thought, well, maybe it went into a portal, or maybe it just cloaked and left. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're going, okay, if I saw one, where are the other two? That's what I was thinking. Where are the other two?
Yeah, you know what sucks is it really is frustrating is there is an explanation, but we just don't have it.
We don't have that explanation.
We don't have it.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of ideas. A lot of people got a bunch of ideas, but we don't have
We don't have answers.
No, we don't have one standing there in the field going, okay, now watch me do this. Okay, you ready? And this is what we call blank or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, we're watching. Go ahead and do it now. Okay, do it one more time. And what do you call it again?
Do it one more time for the camera. Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like that's the most amazing. That's another frustrating thing too is if you can do that, what's the harm in telling us what's going on for a minute extra?
Well, forgive me, I'm taking pills.
You know what I mean? Like we can't touch their ass anyway. Why don't you just hang out for a minute and talk to us for a minute? What's that going to harm?
What are they doing? Where are these guys coming from? What are they doing? Where are they coming from? Where are they going? And what is going on?
What's going on? What is going on is right. Isn't it amazing, though, once you see something like this for yourself, how it changes absolutely everything?
It changes everything you've ever believed.
Everything.
Everything. Everything you ever believed. Yeah. Okay. I've been a scientist for all practical purposes Forgive me. The burp.
That's all right. I do it all the time.
Well, for all practical purposes, what is going on? You know, when you get to the level of thought that I'm in, and you are already, you're there. I mean, you are questioning every bit of your understanding.
Yeah.
What do I understand? How do I understand this? Who is in charge?
Yeah.
Who is in charge? And I really believe that when everything happened in the beginning was the Word. The Word was God. And God spoke to the chaos and created light and day. All of that is in the scriptures is true. I
There's no
mean,
shrugs. Go ahead.
I've been dead. I've been dead before.
Hmm.
I've been dead before. March 22nd, 2012. I was sitting in the recovery room of the ICU where they had done a double bypass on my heart.
Hmm.
And I was in there and I had had a dream while I was on the table. And while I was on the table, the dream was this. I was in a huge room in all white. And then all of a sudden, there were all my dead relatives. All of them. They're like on a balcony looking down at me. I'm going, oh, okay. I guess I didn't make it. Okay, here I am. And then I saw her running up the stairs, my first wife. And I ran up to her and I grabbed her arm. And she turned around and looked at me. And I grabbed her arm like I'm standing here with you grabbing yours, her hand. And she turns around and she says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I want to be here with you." She says, "You can't. Go back. You're not done yet."
Man.
Okay. So I came back. Next thing I was back in the room. And the kids came in, the kids there, and my second wife that was there with me, and she's been through all the shit I've gone through. And she doesn't want to be seen on the camera. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I said, I've been talking to the dead. You know, I have had all of these things happen to me, supernatural things. One time I'm turkey hunting in 2003. Get ready to go out and go turkey hunting. I got everything ready to go. I'm laying on the bed down there in Waynesboro. There's a house across the road that we all used to stay in because that was grandmother's house. And I'm staying in there and I'm sleeping, and there's nobody there except me. There's nobody in this house but me. I got the light on in the room in front of me, and I'm sitting there, and I felt something put its butt cheeks there next to me on the bed. And then an arm came across my chest, which I felt was an arm. And I looked up, and then all of a sudden, I saw the outline of a woman, and I saw the hair. I said, Danny, is that you? And poof, she was gone.
Wow.
So that's what I saw. That's what I saw. That's what I felt. That how it happened at like 3 in the morning.
Wow.
And I'm getting up the next day to go. Needless to say, I did not go back to sleep.
Yeah, I guess.
I stayed up with the light on and waited till about 6:30 to go outside to go across the road to go turkey hunting. Needless to say, it was an interesting day.
Wow. That's
It
pretty
was
neat.
an Yeah, I had all these things happen to me, Steve. The angels, seeing the dead, talking to the dead, talking to the Sasquatch outside my window. One time I come home and there's this huge raccoon in the yard. It looked like a huge raccoon. And I got nothing in my yard but grass and azaleas and these huge pine trees. And the raccoon jumped on the side of the tree and I heard it go up. And I walked around to see it go up the tree and I couldn't see it up the tree. It was gone. Poof. Okay. I'm an old country boy and I've seen everything.
Right.
But this is everything. This is everything. God is everything.
Mm.
Jesus is everything.
Mm-hmm.
His death on the cross covered yours and my sins. And having a personal relationship with him every day is the thing that we all need to do. But that's
Yeah.
just me. That's just me. That's the only way to be covered. That's the only way to be covered, and cover yourself with the blood of Jesus when you go out. And I'll just do that for you at this moment because you're getting ready to go out in the wilderness again.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Isn't it amazing how much darkness is going on as of late and around the planet?
There's too much not for it not to be biblical. You want to call it biblical? It's biblical. You
Well,
got
that's
darkness going on.
when you keep looking and looking and looking and wondering why. So far, all roads seem to be leading right there.
Yeah.
There's
All
no
roads
denying it.
lead
All
to
roads seem to be leading there.
it's leading to a very nasty end. And watch it. Don't accept this mark they're coming with.
Yeah.
And they're using these phones to I believe to kind of get us used to it.
It's just amazing. I think I might have mentioned a couple days ago. I just can't make sense of it. It's like I was trying to say hypothetically. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, evil wins. Evil wins. Evil has won. Well, now what are you guys gonna do on this earth? Do you know what I mean? Like, what, you're just gonna roll around in all the evilness and good enough? I mean, what's the end game? Why? I just don't understand why. There's so much beauty and good around us in the real world here. It just really, really confuses me as to why. Seriously? Darkness, the evil, the power, the greed, when there's so much beauty going on, it's just very, very confusing for me to see so many focused on such darkness with this gift of being alive. I just don't get it. I don't get it. You know?
Well, what's there not to get? I mean, really, you've seen everything just about. I mean,
Yeah.
these things exist. We've been lied to a long time.
Been lied to, and the only reasoning that I can come up with so far to why we're being lied to about everything is to keep us in line to feed that dark side, you know?
Well, if we feed that, well, all of us have sinned, broken the law. But I was reading in Romans today about how the law was made to increase transgression. But now we are free from the law of sin and death through Jesus Christ. That is the answer.
Hmm.
Adam took the fruit off the tree. Jesus put the fruit back on the tree. Okay?
Hmm.
His blood was the propitiation for our sin. His
Hmm.
scarring. You know, those things bring truth and peace.
Hmm.
Jesus Christ brought truth to lie. Truth exposing the lie.
Hmm.
Okay? It's not the law that makes you free. It's Jesus that makes you free.
Hmm.
And
Do you think
that's
there's an
the
do you think there's an antichrist existing amongst us right now?
yes.
Do you think you know who it is?
I have an idea. I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to let
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cat out of the bag. It's here. It's coming. And what's coming is not good.
Yeah, that's apparent. Well, it hasn't been good for some time now. It's been getting a lot worse for a lot of people around the planet, like
Mm,
rapidly. You know what I mean? Like rapidly.
yeah, as I understand. That in itself is part of what was written. It was written many years ago,
It's true.
written down by Daniel and by John on the Isle of Patmos.
Hmm.
Think about it. John, they couldn't boil him alive in oil. And where did they send him? They sent him to an island to die. And
Hmm.
while he's in the island in the cave, he has a vision. And the vision is of the end. And it is a restatement of Daniel.
Hmm. Hmm.
It really is.
Yeah, yeah.
All of it is said and all of it is written. Just one things that struck me about the angels when I met them. I talked to them about the 91st Psalm and how my mother had made me remember that back in 1978, 79. She made me do that because I was leaving. I was leaving the house. I was done.
Hmm.
I was not going to let anything else bother me at the house. I was gone.
Right.
And she made me memorize the 91st Psalm. And I opened the book to that and I handed that book over, handed my mother's Bible over to the short one. And he took the Bible like he would take a sword. He had it in his hand. And he brought it to his chest and he looked down at it. Not to read it. I could see him almost pulling power out of that. Then he handed it back to me and he shut the Bible. I shut the Bible after I talked to the men. And he left and said, I have to leave, be somewhere real quick. This was at 11:25. That girl broke her neck and was in the ICU at 12:30.
Hmm.
So I'm sorry. I'm kind of going off track here. Is there
That's all
anything
right. We
else?
all do it.
I'll do it.
We all do it. Hey,
Yeah.
what do you think about these other beings, like the being that you saw rip across that field? Do you think that thing's coming from the light or the dark?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Dark.
Think so?
Hmm. Anything to do with them has to be dark.
Yeah. It's funny because
Oh,
on average, well, I mean, obviously we don't hear from people where it might have ended up not so good. But on average, I mean, I think I've had close to 40,000 people have emailed in. I haven't read them all, but I've read thousands of them. And so far, not too much direct darkness has happened to the people who witness these beings on average. But that doesn't mean much either, does it, when it really
no, it
comes to
doesn't.
true darkness?
What bothers me about these people, the fact that they are human. Christ came to save us all. Maybe, as the outman has said, they're covenant people.
Hmm.
You have a covenant with them, they have a covenant with you.
Hmm.
What you are saying, what he was saying is that Abraham, that was in Romans, Abraham was righteous because he believed God. Because he believed God, and was imputed to him as righteousness.
Hmm.
Maybe some of these people have a covenant with God and follow that covenant by doing good or evil. They have choice just like we have choice. They have choice like we have choice.
Yeah. But there's got to be something. I mean, they seem to be on average so scared of blank to let us see them or completely talk with them, see them, learn, whatever. Interact. I mean, something is governing them, policing them to not interact with us. Period. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one of the questions I would have would be like, what do you, if I'm talking to them, who's keeping you in line? What is keeping you in line, and what is making you follow these rules? So, strict rules.
That's a good question, Steve. I mean, I think it is the fact that they are a creation nonetheless. And if they are a creation of God or of these things that tried to create something here on this earth, maybe they are. Maybe they are. If they're creations of God and they're using God's creatures to create more of them or etc., they have to have a covenant with God. And I think that's in the book of Enoch, which was one of the books that was thrown out of the Bible by the King James Version. So there have got to be some sort of covenant agreement between them.
There's got to be. There's got to be.
It's got to be, and that's the only law that they observe. If that's the only law they observe, then they cannot enter our world because we have a covenant with God through the blood of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's funny, not funny in a way, but when you have a display like what you have seen or what other tens of thousands of people have seen, I mean, the display of what they can do makes me think they're absolutely invincible to us. So, I mean, they have got to be scared of the boss. I mean, if I could do what they could do, I'd be messing with humans nonstop. I'd show up at the halftime show at the Super Bowl on the stage for about 10 seconds. I'd moon the crowd and I'd disappear again. Maybe I'd show up beside Ryan Seacrest at the countdown in New York just for 10 seconds to freak everybody out because I could. And you can't do nothing about it.
That would be funny.
Do you see what I'm getting at, though? It's like, man, you got those skills. You could do that if you felt like it, obviously. Why don't you? Who the boss has got his thumb on your ass.
Exactly. Well, I believe that God covers everything.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to God. That's what Jesus said. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me. It's not about what I've done in this life or what I'm doing in this life. It is about what He did for me, for you, for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not that you go and increase in sin, it's that you turn from sin. Just like Jesus told the lady that was found in adultery, He said, she's there on the ground. Everybody had already picked up a rock to throw at her. And he said to her, look, where are your accusers? She says, they're gone, Lord. He said, neither do I accuse you. Go and sin no more. Now there's the words, go and sin no more. That's the word there. So think about it in those terms.
Yeah.
Go and sin no more.
Mm-hmm.
If they have ones that have broken their law, what are you left with? Okay, you shun them, just like the Mennonite and the Amish do. They shun them.
Right.
Once they break their law, they shun them. So
Have you,
there's your point. Go and
yeah.
sin no more.
Have you been listening? I just started reading that book, 50 Years with Sasquatch by the Carter family. I started reading it yesterday, I think. Did you hear that one?
I'd heard a story from that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just starting to read it. I'm reading it this morning as well, some more of the conversation they're having. And so far, like I've not read the book. Apparently it's been read online somewhere, but I haven't heard it. But it'll be interesting to see as we go with this book, which I believe is valid. But so far, there hasn't been any mention of any supernatural powers. Like, it's basically this family of these beings are coming into this rural farm and being given food, and the way they're interacting each other is kind of human-like but kind of animal-like. But no, they haven't described any weird spiritual feelings. They haven't described any supernatural experiences yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But I guess what I'm saying is too, there has been so many experiences shared of people watching, observing these people, and there doesn't seem to be anything overly amazing about what they can or can't do.
Right.
Which is a little confusing at the same time, because then you turn around and you hear about your experience or other dozens of other people who have had absolute similar experiences as you. And it just throws more of a confusing screw into the whole thing, right?
It sure does. You wonder where it all comes from. But then again, I have to go back to the Word. Yeah. That's just,
Have you ever gone out of did you find yourself ever going out of your way to try to pursue these people or look for them or look for signs of them or communicate with them after that?
No. I've thought about it. And then my wife started hearing stuff out here in the backyard at night. I thought about pursuing. I thought about, becoming a big Bigfoot person. But no, I can't.
Yeah, that road seems to be doesn't seem to really lead anywhere significant, does it?
No, you wonder about it.
Yeah,
You wonder about the whole thing.
Yeah, all the people that have dedicated their lives to being in front of a lens and pursuing Sasquatch, they've all died without the answers.
We're going to die with a lot of no answers. There's going to be a lot of no answers to us.
But I don't want to. I don't want to die without the answers. I want them now.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
I don't want to die and then turn around and go, you got me. Shit. Knew you were getting me. I knew you were getting me the whole time, and you still got me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they're getting you the whole time. You know it. As you're fighting, you're trying to figure it out, and I'm like, no, damn, I'm not gonna die without getting you back. No, you're not gonna get me. But so far, they're getting us.
Yeah. Well, it's not a throw your hands up and not understand it. It's not that. It's just that I don't think we'll ever really know the ifs and the whys. We don't really know the ifs and the whys. I've been left with a lot of no ifs and no whys.
Yeah.
In my entire life, I've been left with no ifs and no whys. The only thing I've been left with is that I know who is in charge.
Right.
I know who is in charge, and I know who is my savior. That's it. I got to thinking about what you went through about the blood disease you had from the mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, Here's a guy who had people pray for him in the United States. Probably praying for him right there in Thailand. And here's the point. He brought you through it. He's brought me through a lot of things in my life. He has brought me to where it is. It's just, I about this point, even in politics, okay? I'm just going to shift the conversation just a little bit.
Yeah.
I want there to be an American party here down south, okay? I want there to be an American party, not a Democratic, not a Republican, but an American party.
There's
Where
gonna be a
we
bunch
can,
of there's gonna be a bunch of bullets to get there by the looks of things.
yeah, it is. It's going to be like that. Oh my God. It's like the Second Amendment said. The security of a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The
Mm-hmm.
right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be abolished
Yeah.
or abridged.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying, okay, a well-regulated militia. That's you, that's me, that's everybody with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Pointing it at the government to say, don't F with us.
Right.
Leave our free speech alone. Leave our free press alone. Leave everything alone. Stay off. Thomas Jefferson said, if I had to choose between blood and a free press, I would choose blood. Okay?
Hmm.
Huh? You know?
Yeah.
That's the only way to secure freedom.
And protect your border.
Don't give up your guns. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't give up your freedom. Don't give up your right to be free.
It's pretty
And
tough
if
right now in a lot of countries. They're making it real, real tough up here.
they're trying to make it tough everywhere. They're even trying to do an anti-Nick Shirley law
I saw that.
in,
Isn't that
in
amazing?
California. What the F are you doing? You can't take away people's right of free press,
Isn't
free
that amazing?
speech. Are you nuts?
Yep.
You want to protect fraud. Okay, how much sense does that make? None. No
Well,
sense.
they did ship off a whole bunch of high profile pedophiles got to go to Israel for safe haven and a steak dinner.
Why?
Right?
Why?
Why? Not one person has faced any consequences for all of that, the Epstein gang. Not one. Not one person during the COVID, nothing. Like not one dark person has paid anything. Nothing.
What do they think? How are they thinking it? What is the big issue? Darkness?
I don't know. But it's amazing how the people haven't risen up, isn't it?
We were close to that same thing. January 6, 2020.
Right.
That was almost a civil war.
Yeah. Yeah.
I looked at it and I said to myself, I said, well, here we go back to the Declaration. People are upset. They don't like the way things went.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
It's another side note, another amazing part too is the boys, the men that they get to enforce and go against the people were originally from the people. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. What makes them think that they can do that?
I
Power.
don't know. It's amazing.
Power.
Well, yeah,
Money. Power.
it's the 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 drunkenness of the power is absolutely amazing to watch, and I thank God that I'm not susceptible to it. Whew.
Well, I am too. I love your voice, man. I love listening to you bitch and moan. Sorry.
Somebody's got to do it.
But
Somebody's
go
got to do it.
ahead. I mean, I love hearing you say that. I really do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I could sit here and talk to you all day, buddy.
Easy, right?
Easy. I mean,
Easy.
you make sense. You make sense out of what's going on.
Yeah.
Nothing was right was going on, but yeah, yeah.
Isn't it amazing that I'm still here? They haven't shut me up.
You're only going to be good until they decide you're no longer needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm not going to stop. It's the worst. The
you
worst thing
know,
could happen for the other side is all those little minions trying to attack me, trying to stop me. That guaranteed that I'm not going to stop. I can't
exactly.
help it. Guaranteed. Now you guys just fueled up my forever tank, and it's never going to go on empty now. Way to go, stupid. You know, man, you guys are dumb. Anyway, you know what? You're making me starving watching you eat that burrito. I gotta go eat, and I've
Well,
got another.
you gotta eat, man. You
Yeah,
gotta
Sarah's
keep up the
gonna
strength.
leave. Yeah, she's got to leave in like 3 minutes, and I know she's too worried about bothering me in here and interrupting. But I got to go catch her before she goes. But I absolutely
All right.
appreciate meeting you,
I
my man.
appreciate you too. Thank you, buddy. I
Thank
mean,
you so much for coming on here with me, and hopefully we'll talk
you're
again.
welcome. Anytime.
Oh, hold on. Sure, people are going to be wondering if there's ever any goopy stuff goes on around here, and yes, the answer is yep. Quite a few people have seen these people along this water system. Does it ever worry me? No. Well, you can't help but look up at the horizon every once in a while, glance up and down like I do. It's just, you can't help it. You can't stop yourself, but you don't let anything get ruined. Don't ruin your time. Sometimes I half expect a huge boulder to hit the pool in front of me, and I hope it doesn't happen. It's only normal for once you have the knowledge, right? Normal reaction. Response. Come on, fish. Nothing in this one either. Yeah, it's deep down there too. Can't wait to put the camera through this one. Go a little deeper.